Good morning, everybody. Melissa Johnson speaking. I am the Principal Psychologist and the Director at Thriving Mind Psychology Clinic. Welcome to vlog number 37 of the 90-Day Vlog Challenge. Now today, the topic of the vlog is, where are your emergency exits? And preparing for an emergency before your fight and flight kicks in. Now, I know the theme for this week has been around self-care and stress management, and today's just a little bit off of that topic, but that's okay. I think it's still self-care technically. And I'm actually talking about this today because I had a bit of an experience last night here in the hotel where we're staying in Melbourne. It was quite late and the fire alarms went off, and then the evacuate now came across the speakers. It was quite an interesting experience because it's been a long time since I've been evacuated from a hotel and from a place that I wasn't that familiar with. And let me tell you what happened. The emergency alarms went off, and there was a little bit of confusion because my automatic reaction was to come out of the room. I'm going to actually show you what happened. Came out of my room here and headed straight for the lift, because that is of course our normal reaction is to head for the lift. I knew I couldn't go down the lift, but my automatic reaction was to turn this way. But guess what? My closest exit was actually behind me. Now luckily, let me turn around. Luckily, there was an exit in the other direction. But I thought I would talk to you about making sure you know where your exit signs are or your exit points are, wherever you are. Now this might not necessarily mean in a motel, but it's also at home, particularly if you have children. I would encourage you to have a think about and talk to your kids about what to do in an emergency. Have a think about what the most appropriate doors might be and what some alternative options would be if you need to evacuate your house. And talk to your kids about this. Go through the process with them. Explain to them where your meeting points are and what to do in an emergency. And give them a few options of, if you can't go this way, then try going this way and wait here and I will find you. It's a really important process, and I know it's something that we always talk about, but I don't think it's something we ever really do. So it was a bit of an eye-opener for me last night, so I really wanted to share with you to have a think about and familiarise yourself about where your exit points are, wherever you are. Just to have a think about and plan ahead sometimes what you would do in an emergency. Now the reason why I say this, particularly at home, and to plan it with your children, is of course in an emergency your fight or flight kicks in. Now I've talked about fight or flight before. And when fight or flight kicks in, of course, those frontal lobes stop working, and that's where a lot of our rational decision making occurs. And our ability to make rational decisions and to think logically is a little bit disabled, and we really start to just go into not necessarily panic mode, but escape mode. And sometimes that means by going to the closest possible place or the place where we're used to going, but that might not necessarily be where you should be going in an emergency. So have a think about that. Have a talk to it with your children and have a plan and go through it once every 6 months, because the more you go through it, the more it's a routine, the more it's planned. And also, sorry about that, someone is trying to call me and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hopefully they don't keep trying. So have a think about that, plan it. The more it's planned, the more you go over it, the more automatic it's going to become in the case of an emergency. So that is it for me today. I know it's not quite self-care, but it's my little learning tip for this week, and I really wanted to share that with you. Familiarise with yourself with your exits, have an emergency plan, talk to your children about it, and make a plan and go over it at least every 6 months. So if it happens, you know what to do, your kids know what to do, and it's a little bit more organised and less panic. All right, that is it for me today. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's still cold and chilly here in Melbourne. I shall come to you tomorrow again, and I will be back onto self-care tomorrow. That is it for me, and don't forget, there's never been a better day than today to take the steps to having your thriving mind and your thriving life. Oh, hi Debbie, thanks for watching. Bye for now.